The big idea today is algebraic fractions are divided in the same way as you divide numeric fractions. If you remember a problem like this, 3/4 divided by 1/2, what you have to do is leave the first fraction, change the denominator or the division to multiplication, and then flip the next fraction. So 1/2 now becomes 2/1, and then you go about your same multiplying two fractions together. You can cross reduce. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. So 3 times 1 is 3, 2 times 1 is 2. Okay? This works the same with algebraic fractions. So dividing algebraic fractions. Consider the division of fractions a divided by b divided by c divided by d. Since dividing by a number is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal, dividing by c over d gives the same result as multiplying by d over c. Okay, so that's what that's saying. A divided by b divided by c over d is the same thing as saying a divided by b times d over c. You multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, might want to have that in your notes. So example 1 says simplify. So x divided by 4, like I said, leave, change to multiplication, and flip. 5/3. Leave, change, can't spell this morning, change, and flip. Okay? So 3/5 became 5/3. Can I cross reduce? No. X times 5 is 5x. Like I said, I like to leave that in the numerator. Divided by 4 times 3 is 12. It's that easy. Simplifying a complex fraction. Recall that a horizontal fraction bar indicates division. The division of that can be written as a divided by b divided by c divided by d. Same thing. Fractions of the form like this are called complex fractions. Complex fraction consists of 3 fractions. One is the numerator, the second is the denominator of a third bigger fraction. So this divided by this, and this is the whole big fraction. Okay? So moving on. A problem like this, 6x divided by 5, all divided by 9x divided by 10. So, leave this part, change this division sign to multiplication, and then you flip 9x over 10, which is 10 over 9x. Cross reduce where you can. Well, 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 10 twice. What goes into 6 and 9? Well, 3 does. So 3 goes into 6 twice. 3 goes into 9 3 times. This x will take out this x. All right? So 2 times 2 is 4. Divided by 1 times 3 is 3. So my answer is 4/3. Moving along to the last slide. This is very important because you're going to need this the rest of your mathematics career. It's how to type in fractions into your calculator. It says when entering complex fractions into a calculator, be sure to group the numerator fraction in parentheses and the denominator fraction in parentheses. So what does that mean? If you get a complex fraction, you need to put parentheses around the numerator, 2/3 around the numerator, divided by parentheses around the denominator. Why? It's because they need to do this math first and then divide it by this math second. Okay? If you divide it all the way straight through, just like this, like a lot of you have a tendency of doing, you obtain 1/90th, which is incorrect, okay? Do not do this. You need to type it in using parentheses, okay? If you type this in, the correct quotient is going to be 8/5, or what is 1.6, okay? So quiz yourself. Write this as a decimal. So how am I going to type it on my calculator? All right, well, 3 divided by 8 in parentheses, divided by, parentheses, 3 divided by 11. They want us to write that as a decimal. That's important to know. So I'm assuming right now you are typing this in on your calculator, as you should be. 3 divided by 8. I'm not going to show you because I didn't bring up my calculator. Divided by 3 divided by 11. And that's going to give me 1.375. Please check that on your calculator and make sure that you did it correctly. That's all I have for you today. Please enjoy. We'll see you tomorrow.